All right, so today we're going to talk about hips and blood size. When we talk of hips, so when you are trading, you want to be able to know you are buying and selling, as we've already explained. Like if you are trading, it's just like any business that you are doing, that you are simply doing buying and selling. But in this case, we are doing Forex trading. We are buying and selling currency. So first of all, we need to know how much we are buying or how much we can buy, and also look at how to calculate the value of what we are buying in case we are making money or losing money, able to know how much money we are making or we are losing. So this is where tips comes in. So when I'm teaching, I don't really want to explain things based on like the definitions that are available. I want to explain it in a way that every person would understand. Later, if you want to know how the typical definition is, which is not important, but if you wish to know, at that point you understand it, and then you can find out about it. So some of you might already know how a textbook definition of CAPES is, and maybe how I might define it might not be the way you know. But as I said, it's not important. The important thing is understanding what it means and how you can use it. That is the important thing. Right. So when we say pips is let's say the unit of measurement. The unit of measurement of a currency. So it is what we use to measure how much change that is happening in the currency. So for instance, if we are measuring like the speed of a car, we measure the speed of a car in kilometers per hour. If we want to measure distance, we can measure distance in different forms. We can measure distance in millimeters, in centimeters, in meters, in kilometers, in miles, in so many different ways. So pips is a term for how we measure currency. So let's say a currency moves up or a currency moves down. Pips will help us calculate how much down or up that it has moved. So for us to do this, let's look at the structure of a currency or a currency pair. So this is the basic structure of every currency. It is in this format: 0.0000. 0.000. So we have a number in front of the decimal, and then we have four values after the decimal point. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this first value here is a whole number, right? Any value, if it is before a decimal point, it means it's a whole number. It's a whole number, and everything here is referred to as a decimal number because it comes after the decimal point. If you still remember your mathematics from kindergarten or primary school, early stages of, it depends on where you are, the curriculum you have in the home country. So The first value after the decimal point is called a thousand with a th, that is thousand. The second value after the decimal point is called a hundred. And the third value after the decimal point is called the tens. Sorry, that is a ten, not tens. It's different from tens. And then we have one. So this is one. The last value is one. So what does this mean? Right? Don't get confused. So for instance, if we have a currency and that currency is, let's say, 3.21434. What we are saying is this is the whole number value. The 1,000, 100, 10, and 1. Right? So what does this mean? Every number after the decimal point is how we get our CAPE calculation. So the fourth value after the decimal point, so we have the first, second, third, and fourth. The fourth value is what we call a CAPE. The fourth value is called a CAPE. So we can have a fifth value, which they call a pipette, but that is not really important. Let's forget about that for now. So there are some of you that might know that, right? Don't worry yourself about that for now. You can worry yourself later in the future when you understand capes and you start trading and you're like, okay, what is pipette? I want to now look at it. That's when you want to look at it. So looking at this position is called the pip. So here we have 4 here. So this is 4 pips, 30, 100, 2,000. So this is representing 2,134 pips. But we are not really interested in this value as 2,134 pips. The only time we are interested in the pips is when there is a change. So for instance, we have 3.2145. So if this currency changes or moves from 3.2134 to 3.2145, then the change in the currency from this point to this point, we'll be able to do that by doing the difference between them. So in this case, we have, because the first two values are the same, 3 points, we ignore that. So our interest is in 2145 minus 2134. So this is all 2121. So it is 45 minus 39. So that is 9. So it means if this currency move from here to here, it means the currency has changed by 9 pips. Right? I hope this makes sense. Let's take a few examples. So remember that this is a whole number. First value is 1,000, 100, 10, and 1. But when you're actually looking at it, you just take the value and subtract it from the new value, or you take the new value and subtract this. It doesn't matter which one you subtract from me. If you subtract a bigger number from a smaller number, you get a negative number, but it doesn't make any difference. Negative means it's just showing direction. It doesn't really matter. So let's look at a few examples. So if you have a currency, and this currency change, we have 8.3245, and it changes to 8.3245. 3240, how much pips change has happened? So we have 3245 to 3240. It means it has decreased by what? 5 pips, right? So we're able to calculate the change that has happened in the currency by what? Pips. Okay. If we have a currency that is 4.213, 4.2139, and it changes to 4.1129. If we subtract the two numbers, because there's 4 in front of the two of them, we subtract 1129 from 2139. So this is what we are talking about. We subtract this value here from this value here, and then that would give us the change. So the change in the currency would be, if we subtract this, because this is 1,000 and this is 2,139 minus 1,129, that is 10. So 1,010 pips change. That is what has happened. So you don't really need to know this. You just need to understand what it is, and you don't need to know how to do all this calculation, even though it is simple and you can do it. You just need to know this is how we get the pips, because on TradingView there is a tool for measuring the pips, which I'll show you how to use it, right? But how is this important? This is important when we look at lot size, which we are about to look at right now. So lot size in simple terms is how much of the currency you are buying or selling. The pips is how much change is happening in the currency. And the lot size is how much you are buying. So if you have two people and they are all trading the same thing, one can decide to buy more and one can decide to buy less. In that case, the amount of money that the person would make or lose in terms of a good or a bad trade would be different. So there are 3 main categories of lot size based on the sizes. So we have a smaller size, a medium size, and a big size. So we have what we call a micro lot size. We have a mini lot size. A mini lot. And then we have what we call standard lot. So those of you who are already trading, I know you are already familiar with this, but unfortunately for those who are very new, we need to go through this so that they are familiar with it before we continue and look at the details. So what does a micro lot size mean? So micro means small. So it's the smallest amount of the currency that you can buy. And we call it, or the value we give to this is 0.01. So what does this mean? If you're trading a lot size of 0.01, what it means is for every 1 pip that you make, every 1 pip that the currency moves, you're going to make $0.10. If the currency moves every single pip, you're going to make $0.10, right? So if you're trading a lot size of a mini lot size and you have a currency moving, let's say 20 pips, and you decided to trade the currency with a lot size of 0.01, okay, how do you know the amount of money you get? 20, which is the total number of pips that you make, multiplied by 0.10, which is the money you make for one pip, because you are using a lot size of 0.01. So it means the total amount of money you make would be 20 times 0.1, which would be what? $2. Right? If you make a lot of trades, a lot of pips, let's say 1,000 pips, and you are using a lot size of 0.01, it means that the total amount of money you will make will be 1,000 multiplied by the value of one pip for the lot size of 0.01, which is 0.10, and that will give you what? That will give you $100. So if you want to make $100 and you are using the smallest lot size of 0.01, then you have to make 1,000 pips, because every single pip will give you what? 10 cents. Right? But this value is a range. So the micro is not just, when we say micro lot size, it's not just 0.01, it's a range. So it's a range from 0.01 to 0.09. Zero point zero one to 0.09. So what does this mean? It means that between 0.1 and 0.01, so when somebody is trading, someone can decide to use the smallest lot size in the micro lot range. So someone can decide to use 0.01, right? Someone can decide to use 0.02. Someone can decide to use 0.03. Someone can decide to use 0.06 or 0.06. Someone can decide to use 0.08 or the highest amount of the micro lot size, 0.09. So depending on every lot size you use, that will determine the amount of money you make. So if you are using 0.01, we already know that 0.01 will give us what? $0.10. So it means if you are using 0.02, 0.20, 0.03 will give us what? $0.30. Let me put the dollars here. This is the value of one pip. We're using 0.06. So wait, for 0.06, you make $0.6, the same as 60 cents. So like this is the same. This is 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, 60 cents for every single pip, and then like that. So if you're using a 0.09 lot size, you would make 90 cents or $0.9 for every single pip. Right? So how do we get by this number? Right? In simple terms, for the lot size you are using, you multiply it by 10 to give you the money you get. Or if that is confusing, move the decimal point from here, 0.01, move it here, and then it becomes what? 0.1. So if you're using a lot size of 0.01, 0.04. For you to know the amount of money you would make for every single pip, you move the decimal point from here to here. It will become 0.4. So that would be $0.40, right? So this is for the micro lot size. So as I said, it's a range from 0.01 to 0.09. All right. So it means if you are looking at the 0.01 will give you 10 cents or $0.1, and 0.09 would also give you 90 cents or $0.9. So $0.90. So that is for micro lots. So the next category is a mini lot. So mini lot is just a continuation of 0.09. So from 0.09 we go to 0.10. From that category is called mini lots. So mini lot is from 0.10 all the way to 0.99. So if this is the lot size you are using, we say you are using a mini lot. And what this means is, if this is the lot size you are using the smallest lot size of the mini lot, which is 0.10. How much money would you make? You move the decimal point from here to here, so it becomes what? 1.0. So it means if you are using a mini lot of 0.10, for every single pip, you would make what? $1. 1.00, because it's currency, you can put 00 at the end. And if you are using the last value of the mini lot size, that would be if you move the decimal point from here to here, that would be what? 9.90 or $9.90 for every single pip. Right. So as I said for this one, this is a range from 0.10 to 0.01 to 0.09. This is also from 0.10 to 0.099. So what it means is there is a lot of values in between. So you have, so it's from 0.10. So you have 0.10, 0.11, 0.12, all the way to 0.2. So 0.20, you have 0.21, then you go to 0.21, 2223, you go to 0.30, 0.31, 0.32, 0.35, 36, 37, then you go to 0.4, 0.41, 44, 0.4, then all the way to 0.9, you have 0.90, 0.91, all the way to the final one, 0.99. So each one that you use, so if you're using this, it means every people bought $1. This would be $1.1, $1.2, 1.2.0, 2.1, 3.0, 9.0, 9.1, 9.9, like that. So any lot size that you are using between these range, we call it what? Mini lot. So from 0.99, what is the next value that we go? 0.99, go to 1.00. So the lot size we are using here is 1.00, and we call this standard lot. So here there is no range. Anything 1 and above is a standard lot. So it means we can have 1.01, 1.02, 1.03, 1.67, 3.2, 10.20, like anything 1 and above, it's a standard lot. So here, for us to know the amount of money we would make for every single pip, what do? We move the decimal point from here to here, right? So if you're using a standard lot, it means that every single pip will give you what? $10. 10.0. That's the amount of money you make for every single pip, right? So most of the question I mostly get asked by my students is, if one pip for a standard lot to give you $10, why would someone decide to use 0.01 and get 10 cents? Right? That is a very right question. But what is happening is the lot size you use is based on the account size you have and how much you're also willing to risk. Because if you enter a trade, it doesn't go straight into profit. Sometimes it can go down negative 10 pips before it goes into profit. So if your account is $100 and you are using a standard lot, every pip is $10. So if it goes negative 10 pips, it means you lose all the money in your account before the trade even make you money. But if you are using 0.01, if it goes negative 10 pips, it will just be what? 10 cents times 10, which will just be negative $1 before it comes to profit. So the lot size you use is based on the account size you have and also the amount of risk that you are willing to take. This have a more deeper meaning than the way I'm explaining it. So, for example, if you are buying a micro lot of the currency, what you're actually doing is, in terms of quantity, you are buying 1,000 units of the currency. So let's say you are trading euro, US dollar, the currency pair. We've already looked at currency pair, so you should understand it. Let's say you are trading euro, US dollars. If you are trading euro, US dollars, and you use 0.01, it means that you are buying single pieces of euro, US dollars, 1,000 units. That's why when there is a small change, you make money, because sometimes the kind of change that happen is very small. So you have a currency that is 1.2345, and it changes from that to 1.2346. There is just one change. It's not even gotten here or here to even change the value here, but we are still making money because we are buying a lot of the currency. So those small changes is very significant. So we have something that we call leverage. That's what allows us to be able to buy a lot of the currency. We'll explain leverage later. I hope I've not confused you. If I've confused you, forget about this. Right? If you understand, then follow along. So if you are using 0.1, it means you are buying 10,000 units of the currency. Right? If you are using one standard lot, it means you are buying 100,000 units of the currency for every single lot you buy. Does it make sense? So I hope this makes sense. So I wanted to add candlesticks to this lesson, but I will keep this as a single lesson and do another video for candlesticks. So take this assignment. You don't have to. No, you have to show me. I don't know if you should show me, because if everybody is showing me, I don't know how. Right. If you think you understand, you don't have to show me. But if you're confused, you can show me. It's up to you. So this is with chips. So if you have this currency, number 1.3423, and it changes to 1.2367. How many pips change has happened? So you write it there. Number 2, if you have a currency that is 7.5464, and it changes to 7.0987. how many pip change has happened. And then the third one, if you have a currency 10.3245, and then it changes to 10.4567. How many pips? So you do the difference and find the total number of pips here. So you use this one to solve the next question. That will make sense. So let's say there are 3 people, right? There are 3 people that are taking this trade. So you calculate a number of pips. Calculate the number of pips that would be made for every single person. So here you are just doing subtraction. You subtract this from this, or you subtract this from this. Depending on how you do it, one might be negative, but it doesn't matter. And you are not using the first value. You are just, because the first value is 1.1.7.7.10.10. So you don't need the first one. You are just subtracting 3423 minus 2367, and then you get the answer. You do the same for this one. And then the second part of this, so you know the total number of pips for question 1, question 2, and question 3. So let's say there are 3 people that are taking these trades 1, 2, and 3. We have, this person is called A. And we have the second person is B. So what you are going to do is A took this trade and made this the total number of pips here. But the lot size he used was 0.20. So calculate the total amount of money A made for this trade. So I would do the first one for you, and then you have to do the second and the third. So I'll do the first one. I'll give you the question. Let's say B used 0.11. And for the question 2, A used 0.06, and B used standard lot 1.02. And the last question, A used 2.10 lot size, and B used 0.09. So your role is to calculate the amount of money A made here and B also made here. You also calculate the amount of money A made here and B made here, and the amount of money A made here and B also made here. So to help you understand what I want you to do, I'm calculating the first one for you. Right, so this is 0.09. So there is a point. The point is not coming. This is the point. So this is the one I'm doing, number 1. I'm doing this one. So the currency moved from here to here. So for us to know the total number of pips, what do we do? We subtract 3, 4, 2, 3 minus 2, 3, 6, 7. So that what we get is 1,056 pips. So it means in this trade, the total number of pips that was made for this trade is 1,056 pips. So there are 2 people that took the trade. A used a lot size of, so I'm not going to, I'll just use an arrow. So A used a lot size of 0.2. So for a lot size of 0.2, it means that every single people brought $2 to move the decimal point from So the every single pip that this trade was made was $2. So it is, every single pip is $2. $2 for one pip, right? And we said this person made how many pips? 1,056. So if one pip is 1,056, one pip is $2, how much would 1,056 pips be? So you multiply two by the total number of pips, 2 by 1,056, and that's the total number of money. So times 2. It means that in this trade, if A took the first trade, which made 1,056 pips with a lot size of 0.2, the total amount of money A would make would be $2,112.00, because it's currently $0. And then you look at B. This is another person that took the same trade, but that person used a lower lot size of what? 0.11. So for 0.11, remove the decimal point from here to here. So it was 1.10. So they took the money that would be made for one pip is what? The money that was made, that would be made for one pip is 1.10 for one pip. And this trade, how many pips do you make? 56 pips. Right? So for 1,056 pips. So for if one pip, if one pip is $1.10 for 1,056 pips, how much do we make? 1,056 multiplied by $1.1. 1.10 dollars. That would give us 1,000. $1,161.60, right? So this is what I want you to do. So your rule is to calculate this one. So let me take a picture of this. I don't think I'll go back and watch it. I'll just take a picture of this so that those who do it, I can cross-check your answers. So this is lot size and then pick. Watch it. As usual, if you have any question, hit me up and then discuss it, or you can discuss with your colleague on the page. So the next thing we'll be looking at is candlesticks and types of candles. We are making progress. All right, I hope you enjoyed.